Halloween 2026 has been declared as National Deflocking Day.
Raining fish for a few minutes in Texarkana this afternoon.
Order to win. It's not my fault that you're a loser.
This is a natural mountain. Oh, you son of a ballbag.
What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another episode of Around the Web, where we take a look at mind-blowing videos from all over the internet that'll definitely keep you up at night. If you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, join the family, and maybe we can get to the bottom of some of this craziness. Anyways, I hope you enjoy the episode, watch all the way through, and I'll catch you on the other side. This is Around the Web.
This is everything we have in orbit right now. About 11,000 things. That's already a lot. But watch this. Here's the even crazier thing. Okay, let's talking about the Kessler effect. So these are all like the tracked pieces, but really there's more. So really, I'm gonna turn this on now to prepare yourselves. Prepare yourselves. Really, there's way more stuff orbiting. As crazy as this looks, let's turn the debris on. Look at that now. Now, look at the true craziness of this place. Look at this. It's just wild.
I would have never imagined that there was that much debris in space. I would have never imagined.
A solar flare just blacked out radio across the entire Atlantic Ocean, and now NOAA is saying that a geomagnetic storm is hitting Earth tonight. And that could make the northern lights visible across 18 different states, so you want to make sure you don't miss it. They're also saying that it just launched a burst of plasma into space at over 1 million miles per hour, and that is what is heading towards Earth right now. Hello? Whenever that plasma slams into Earth's magnetic field later tonight, it can not only mess with just GPS signals, but also affect satellites and even stress the power grids. NOAA just put out a map of where the aurora could be visible tonight, and I'm gonna put it on screen now so that you can screenshot it if you don't want to miss it. Hopefully, whenever you're watching this video right now, it's the latest version, but it includes Oregon, Wyoming, Nebraska, Iowa, Wisconsin, Michigan, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, New York, and Maine.
Planet Earth's biggest show is happening right now, the Northern Lights. Space weather forecasters, they say this could be one of the brightest displays of the year.
The best time to make sure that you go look is going to be between 11 p.m. and 2 a.m. tonight, no matter what time zone you're in. If you are in any of the states on the map, make sure you go outside, look north, and get away from all of the lights.
I have never seen this many solar storms ever. Like back to back to back to back. And I've never seen Aurora Borealis. I've always thought I had to go to Alaska or something to see it. I'm able to see this from my house. Something's up.
Halloween 2026 has been declared as National Deflocking Day. Sounds like some hoodlums are going to leave their phones at home, leave their cars at home, dress up in their Halloween costumes, and go deflocking. And I just want to say, under no circumstances should you participate in this Halloween activity.
Let me know in the comments, how many of you guys are not deflocking on Halloween? Everybody, right? Look, I know the ancients had nothing better to do with their time, but it's just too good.
I was told by the occupants that they consist of a network of these objects that are operating around the world presently in the continental western hemisphere is the way they worded it. And they're from a cluster of stars 32 light years away area in what we call Reticuli. Galaxy Zeta Reticulum, and that they were stellar astronomers, or that's their whole civilization. That's what they were geared to: stellar astronomy and life and study of life all across galaxies, and that they're a network sent here to initiate what they call direct observances, and they conduct inter-atmospheric flight. And direct observance of people. What they do is they examine, they see the geographical spectrum. They examine the experiments that they conduct in what he called reverse osmosis and hydrodynamics. They conduct a lot of experiments over water. They conduct experiments in aeronomy and geodesy. See, these were things that came out after I went through Dr. Harder. Helped me a great deal by breaking that block. That it was like I couldn't remember. No matter what I tried, I couldn't remember. So when I did remember, it was just like a water pipe that's busted in the water, just would keep turning over.
So let me get this right. That looked like it had to be in the 80s or 90s. There was no internet back then. How did he get this information if it didn't really happen to him? They're not just hearing it on the news. They're not just going to YouTube.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so as I was explaining, basically, if you take the word Illuminati, which everybody knows, it's
right,
a creepy organization, whatever. If you spell it out, it's Illuminati. If you spell it backwards, it's Itanimulli. So I spelled it backwards, and if you type that into your search bar on the computer, and then you put .com after it, it does something interesting. But I was explaining that different domains, like government websites or network websites or commercial websites, will have different domains, like .com, .net, or .gov.
Sure.
But if you put .com on this, it should take you to like some sort of commercial website where they can have ads and sell you stuff. It should not take you to the website that it does. But if you search it, it takes you to the NSA.gov website. So we get the National Security Agency by typing in Illuminati backwards.
Oh my God, my mind is blown.
It's pretty interesting.
Some people are saying that this is old news. It's new to me. And why would it go there anyways? Unless all this wasn't planned. It's true though, it works.
It will allow SpaceX to deliver high bandwidth connectivity directly from the satellites to the phone. So that since these frequencies are not supported in current phones, the chipset has to be modified to add these frequencies, and that probably is a 2-year time frame. So the phones that are able to use the spectrum that was acquired probably start shipping in around 2 years. But the net effect is that you should be able to watch videos anywhere on your phone.
Elon, is your vision for this that instead of having an AT&T account and then roaming when you're in the UK or you're in India, it's just we could have one direct deal with Starlink. It works all over the world eventually, not today, but at some point. Is that the end goal? That basically we don't need a regional carrier, we have a global carrier, and that would be you.
That would be one of the options. So there's but yes, you should be able to have a Starlink like you have an AT&T or T-Mobile or Verizon or whatever. You could have a account with Starlink that works with your Starlink antenna at home with your Wi-Fi as well as on your phone.
How many of you guys are getting a Starlink phone when they come out? It has to be better than T-Mobile or AT&T service, because I don't get service in my own house and I'm by the router.
Raining fish for a few minutes in Texarkana this afternoon. It happened around 4:30 p.m., according to an employee who works for the Ormax dealership on Summerhill Road. He says he and his coworker Brad heard loud noises and looked outside, only to see fish falling from the sky.
There was a loud crack of thunder, and we opened up the bay door, and I looked outside, and it was raining real hard, and a fish hit the ground. And I said, "It's raining fish." And Brad was like, "No, it's not." And I was like, "No, it really is." And fish were dropping here and everywhere.
Raining fish is believed to be the result of a rare weather event. When a water spout moves over water, sucks up small creatures like fish and frogs, and carries them along until the water spout loses steam.
So you're telling me a tornado went over a water area, picked up enough water and enough fish, and then carried them over somewhere in Texas? That's a lot. I doubt it.
You believe there's a place where it literally rains fish? Every year between May and July during severe thunderstorms, the sky above this tiny city fills with fish. This phenomenon is known as lluvia de peces, and it has baffled scientists for centuries. This incredible event happens exclusively in Yoro, Honduras. But why here? For generations, locals believed it was a miracle, but the actual geographical reason is just as dramatic. Yoro sits directly above a hidden subterranean river system. This river connects the city to an enormous deep water cave network. During the dry season, the water level drops, trapping thousands of small fish in underground chambers. When severe thunderstorms arrive, the sudden violent flooding forces the water and the trapped fish out of the underground network with incredible pressure. The fish are then sucked up into the powerful updrafts of the storm cloud, carried hundreds of feet up and dropped over the city center, alive and flopping on the streets.
Area of Honduras called Yoro, it rains fish every single time rain comes through. I shit you not. And spoilers, scientists have not been able to figure out why this happens to this one place on Earth. After every single thunderstorm or rainstorm between May and June of every year, residents will come out to walk on the streets or drive, and this is what they see. Yoro is a beautiful landscape that has tons of Mayan relics and culture and ruins around it, but there's something important to note here, is that the fish that they find in this city are freshwater, despite it being 45 miles away from the Caribbean Sea.
So the only way I'm believing a water spout is I literally need to see footage or see for myself a water spout going over any kind of lake or any kind of water, picking up the fish, and then dropping it. That's the only way I'm believing it's a water spout, because that doesn't even make any sense.
My name is Dylan Borland, a former geospatial intelligence analyst for the United States Air Force. I'm here today to ask President Trump to declassify all the records regarding UFOs and UAP that were currently brought forward by whistleblowers such as myself and everybody before and after me, both known and unknown. I can tell you with certainty that I provide evidence of current operations to ODNI, Aero, the ICIG, as well as Congress and their staff. We are doing this in hopes that President Trump will actually come forward and begin to lead on this subject and provide truth and transparency to the American people as well as humanity as a whole. It is hopeful for myself and others that bringing these videos to the president, that he will come forward and provide leadership to a new reality for not just America, but all humanity. Thank you for your time.
I just don't know if Donald Trump cares about releasing the UFO files or what, but if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense to him.
You are not black, you are not white, you are not Asian. The color of your skin is a product of the sun, and white people lived further away from the sun. So our bodies adapted. I've heard people say white people have no souls, but if you have a mind, you have a soul. You are not the mind, you are the one who observes it. Everything is conscious and living. Our hair droops to keep our necks warm, while black people's hair grows outwards to absorb the sun in hot environments. The sun gives life to the earth, and our soul gives life to our body. As above, so below. Let's stop the racism. It's just another division tactic.
There's no denying that. Actually did look like a doorway. I'm to the point now. I'm ready to see whatever's behind door number 1.
Let me see if I got this straight. You're trying to tell me that this is a natural mountain? Oh, you son of a ballbag. This is Mount Roraima, and it's located between Brazil and Venezuela. And they claim, in fact, they swear down, it was formed over 1.7 billion years ago from natural causes. Now you see, only people from America and England teach that this is a natural rock formation. Let's see what the locals say. Mount Roraima is a tabletop mountain in South America, and in the mythology of the local indigenous people is considered the stump of a giant tree that once held all the fruits and vegetables of the world. This tree is said to have been felled by a mythological figure, leading to the flood that reshaped the landscape. Oh, we've got your ass now. So let me ask you a question. Do you think that this is a mountain or a giant tree stump? And I know what you're thinking. Why are these giant tree stumps not made out of wood? That's because it's been petrified. A petrified tree is a fossil of a tree trunk where the original organic matter has been replaced by minerals, typically silica, while maintaining the tree's original structure. This process, called petrification, turns the wood into stone. So what I'm trying to say is that many years ago, the earth used to have giant trees that almost touched the sky, until somebody came along and chopped them all down. But the eyes are useless when the mind is blind.
He said the eyes are useless if the mind is blind. Real game.
Body cameras. We completely redesigned body cameras. Our body cameras cost $70, and the camera's always on. You don't turn it on and off. And by the way you turn it on, you can't turn it on. I'm going to the bathroom. Oracle, I need 2 minutes to take a bathroom break, and we'll turn it off. The truth is, we don't really turn it off. I'm going to lunch with my friends. Oracle, I need an hour for privacy with lunch with my friends. God bless. We won't listen in unless there's a court order. It is interesting. But we transmit the video back to headquarters.
They're always collecting.
So headquarters and AI is constantly monitoring the video. The police will be on their best behavior because we're constantly recording, watching and recording everything that's going on. Citizens will be on their best behavior because we're constantly recording and reporting everything that's going on. And it's unimpeachable. The cars have cameras on them. These are the kind of systems the next generation systems we can build using AI.
That's scary. Coming from somebody with power like that. This may be the end of all private conversations and the end of privacy as we know it. Are we going to let it happen?
Do you feel like your ambition is worth another family losing their home?
Yes, that is the game of capitalism. Okay? You have to know how to play in order to win. It's not my fault that you're a loser. Life's cruel, man. Nature is cruel. And this is the system we've built.
How do you feel sucking off the poor?
As I try to explain, we don't suck off the poor. The poor suck off us.
How much money did you make last year?
$37.5 million after taxes last year.
And how much do you think you paid in taxes?
2 or 3 million out of that.
That's it?
Well, that's tax code. Don't blame me. You want to change it, elect somebody else.
And unfortunately, that guy was spitting straight facts. It's sad, but he's not lying.
Mission tortillas have some explaining to do after a disturbing report found their tortillas are whitened with an acne cream chemical banned in 30 countries. That ingredient is benzoyl peroxide, bleached into every single wrap.
Mission is pumping cosmetic-grade slop and calling it Mexican. That tortilla isn't corn. It's bleached dust, stripped white with the same chemical in CeraVe, then laced with literal iron filings, gelling into a pale, gluey slab. That sticky mass is then liquefied in soybean oil, slathered with 2 mold killers before it's mass cooked in a factory oven, shoved into plastic where it sits for months.
This is actually kind of f***ed up.
People who spend long periods of time at home and slowly lose the desire to go outside often think they're just resting. But psychologically, many of them are experiencing something called mental rumination. It's a state where the brain starts slowing down while the number of thoughts inside keeps increasing. The motivation to do anything slowly disappears. The mind gets stuck in the past, worries about the future, and burns itself out. This isn't laziness, it's a nervous system stuck in survival mode. And the longer it lasts, the more distant normal life begins to feel. And the difficult part is that you usually can't escape it through one massive burst of motivation. And sometimes recovery starts with just one small step.
True, but it also costs like $100 to $300 as soon as you step out of your house. That's probably why a lot of people are staying home.
Everyone says The Simpsons predicted the future, but what if they weren't predictions at all? What if they were admissions? And there's a belief in certain circles that if something is revealed beforehand, if it's out in the open, then somehow the responsibility shifts. Almost like saying, well, we told you. And when you look at some of the things that have appeared in cartoons, films, and television over the years, you have to admit it's a strange pattern. Not once, not twice, over and over again. Which raises another question. If they can do that today through cartoons, books, films, and TV, what's to say they weren't doing the exact same thing in the old world? Because suddenly you start looking at fairy tales differently. Giants, goblins, fairies, and dragons. What if some stories weren't created to entertain us? What if they were created to hide something in plain sight? Because if stories can be used to shape perception today, why do we assume every story from the past was created for a different reason?
So this is poor, but wait till I get to billionaire, because this is the sad reality of the world we live in today. Here's middle class, which is a lot of people. Here's upper middle class. Here's upper class. So not a lot of people got that. Here's millionaire. Like, y'all, at that point, you might as well just have dollar bills as your toilet paper. Here's billionaire. But look, guys, look. If you look closely at these stairs, you see, actually, you know what? Here's infinite wealth. Yeah, all of that's going to perish anyways. Do we understand that he's the only one who will be left standing, and anyone who decides to follow him and belong to him will be standing with him? Everything else is meaningless. I'll take this one, though. I'll take this one, though.
Infinite wealth? Billionaire? Which one are you choosing?
Me that Walmart wants to put people in jail who come into their store and offer to buy other people's groceries. You heard what I just said? Walmart banned this man, Damon Darling, from coming into all their establishment because he offers to buy people's groceries. Oh, you don't believe me, right? Look at this shit.
You know you're not allowed. Why ain't I? I'm just buying people's groceries.
And this is even more crazy.
Get issued trespass warnings from Walmart. Okay, you guys are no longer allowed to go to any Walmarts, any Sam's Clubs, or any Murphy gas stations for life. Okay, so there's a life ban from Walmart.
Who's issuing that?
What?
Who's issuing that?
Walmart is.
So this man basically goes into different stores and he helps people. Something that's super rare right now. This man is spreading love. And with the economy the way it is right now, people don't have a lot of money. So he's helping people that don't have a lot of money. He's buying food and other things for people that don't have a lot of money. But Walmart thinks this is a problem.
What kind of is that? How are you gonna ban somebody for paying for somebody's goods? I think Walmart fumbled on this one. Alright YouTube, that was the episode. I hope you enjoyed. What'd you think of the videos? And do you think Walmart's in the right or the wrong for banning a person that's paying for people's groceries? Either way, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope to see you on the next one. This is Around the Web. Peace.